Cube.
Cube.
And when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
I want planes for air cover and get Blackhawks on station to extract that cube.
I'm not up to anything, you red-headed ice cube. And cube?
We must destroy the cube.
立方体
Cubic.
Cubic.
Are you saying that those diamonds are cubic zirconias?
1 cubic meter of crap has enough phosphorus in it to fertilize a whole field.
Reroute every cubic foot of natural gas in the pipelines to that station.
A big machine, 8,000 cubic miles of Cleiston relays, enough power for a whole population of creative geniuses, operated by remote control.
There's more energy in 1 cubic mile of seawater than in all the known oil reserves on Earth.
立方体的
Cubicle.
Cubicle.
Catch a little cubicle fever.
I reserved a private cubicle for the semester.
So I followed my gut, traded in my cubicle for wide open spaces.
The cubicle across from you is empty.
To your cubicle?
小卧室
Cubism.
Cubism.
Honey, this is not surrealism or cubism.
Narcissistic, lysistrata, cubism, squiffed, neurotic.
Oh, that's cubism.
This isn't cubism, Jackson, because you're not really breaking down the figure into multiple views.
You know, if I'm to be completely honest with myself, I've always admired some of the ideas behind cubism.
立体派
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
All it does is cuckoo, and then you give it food.
Cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo land.
They will go to an internet cafe and email the remaining master builders who will meet us in the secret realm of Cloud Cuckoo Land.
You know what happens when a cuckoo hatches inside another bird's nest.
杜鹃鸟
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Cold salmon, a lovely cucumber salad, strawberries.
I'm as cabinet as a cucumber.
I'm really happy you got promoted, but cold cucumber mush for 30-something bucks?
The cucumber accents the water in such a way that...
You're probably cool as a cucumber.
黄瓜
Cud.
Cud.
Are the other folks cows chewing cud till the hour come and their heads roll?
Cudwapper just stepped on my foot.
I think sheep are so clever to chew their cud the way they do.
Let's give them a loving cud. The world goes by while they stand along the fence chewing their cud.
反刍的食物
Cuddle.
Cuddle.
First, we should have tender emotional sex and then cuddle and then go shoe shopping.
I just wanted to cuddle.
It takes two to cuddle.
We'd cuddle up under the covers and pretend we were lost in a dark cave and we're trying to find our way out.
Winter's a good time to stay in and cuddle, but put me in summer and I'll be a...
搂抱抚抱依偎
Cuddly.
Cuddly.
He was so cuddly and he was so horny.
I'm looking at your ugly mug on the back cover of Vanity Fair magazine, holding a cute, cuddly panda from Cutesville.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry we can't help you there because we're cuddly sleepers.
Take out all the little people, you get to waltz off with the cuddly monkey.
可爱的
Cudgel.
Cudgel.
I said he would cudgel you.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating.
Is a cudgel.
Our party's nominee did not pick up the cudgel
Just
and
take
go
2
after,
seconds.
The corporate crooks.
You thought because he could not speak English in the native garb that he therefore could not handle an English cudgel.
棍棒用棍棒打
Cue.
Cue.
Listen to my cue.
Right on cue.
The closer that my hand is to the cue ball, that's more of a finesse soft shot.
The third light cue is yellow.
You ain't gonna be able to do much with that cue ball.
提示给暗示
Cuff.
Cuff.
But nobody wants to cuff a priest.
Magic suppression cuff.
Now we could use our discretion and let you go with a warning. Or we can cuff you and put you in the back of the car.
Rabbit, get over there and cuff her.
There was a record kept of every verbal agreement, no matter how off the cuff or casual.
袖口用巴掌打殴斗
Cuisine.
Cuisine.
a different point.
I killed authentic Mexican cuisine with fingers.
Much better talking about the cuisine than the waitresses.
This is exactly the kind of cuisine that will knock the socks off the town of Brightshore.
Try some French cuisine.
You are a chef de cuisine.
烹调风格
Culinary.
Culinary.
I've been really getting into the culinary arts.
Speaking of culinary tastes, Mr. McLeish, you're Scottish, aren't you?
We used to be roommates together in Paris when we went to culinary school.
You pick it, we'll grab a table and we'll just slide right in.
Okay, well, how about Cafe 5? You ever been there? My
Sounds
friend
good.
from culinary school is the,
厨房的
Cull.
Cull.
A cull is a specimen that is so worthless that you have to cut him out of the herd. Natural-born cull.
To cull your cargo?
You cull the good stuff.
You let me out, or I'll tell every cull I'm a prisoner here.
裁剪出的等外品
Culminate.
Culminate.
And the evening will culminate with...
I've gathered you here today to culminate the first day of my rebirth the right way.
Key witness in the Amy Wilson case 6 years ago, a case that will finally culminate at 1 minute past midnight with the execution by lethal injection of Frank.
This place, the place where years of integrity, honesty, and dedication culminate for the few who earn the right to wear that black robe and be addressed as your honor.
到绝顶使到绝顶
Culmination.
Culmination.
For me, it's the culmination of 40 years curating, and I can't believe it, but I finally got it here.
For you seniors, this marks the culmination of the past 4 years.
This is just the culmination of years of damage.
You never saw the culmination of what we started in America.
顶点
Culpable.
Culpable.
And when a person is culpable to altar boy fucking or any kind of boy fucking, because I know you guys didn't really narrow that down.
Just like those Crips and just like those Bloods, you're culpable.
That I am culpable because of my known feelings towards your husband.
What these new laws said was, you're still culpable. You join the gang, you're culpable.
该责备的
Culprit.
Culprit.
Mind you, if you ask me, the real culprit slipped the net.
The culprit has been identified, I presume?
Unless the culprit behind these attacks is caught.
Until one culprit emerges, I do not approve of murder, my friend.
犯人
Cult.
Cult.
Dr. Jones, you know perfectly well that Huggy Cult has been dead for nearly a century.
It's like they're being inducted into some sort of cult of matrimony.
My money's on some kind of cult.
Some kind of like a cult thing.
You make it sound like a cult, okay?
膜拜
Cultivate.
Cultivate.
And cultivate friendships with those amazing people standing in the back of the room.
Hampton encourages me to cultivate my curiosity.
I'm the only one in the world who knows how to cultivate it.
It was logical to cultivate multiple options.
To stimulate our own imaginations, to cultivate our own consciousness, our own belief systems.
培养
Cultivation.
Cultivation.
For the use and cultivation of the common people in perpetuity.
He's researching new forms of crop cultivation, offering open access to his data.
Indicated that blood was a primal factor in the cultivation of the seeds.
It took years of cultivation to win his trust.
You know, you're a man of learning, of cultivation, of aesthetic sensibility.
教化
Cultivator.
Cultivator.
Carl, you remember him, a little guy drove a cultivator.
You can wrestle grain bags, drive a cultivator, anything you like.
You wrestle grain bags, drive a cultivator.
Louis sent in a new ambassador, cultivator type.
Take that mechanical cultivator in Germany you told me about.
耕者
Cultural.
Cultural.
But still, they are the world's worst cultural vandals.
Come on, cultural sensitivity is for the white officer.
It's international cultural protocol, you know.
It's my cultural duty to torment you in front of her.
My last book was about cultural shifts in the perception of marriage.
文化的
Culture.
Culture.
Despite Wachowski's lack of culture, sensitivity, or the pursuit of anything that is minutely intellectual.
So I left a note saying I'd gone to Europe for 4 weeks with my best friend Lucy to get some culture.
Such a specific culture.
People and culture.
I was just trying to bring a little culture to the group.
文化耕种
Cultured.
Cultured.
Elegant. Cultured. Radiant.
He's so sweet, so intelligent, so cultured.
May I now present a cultured, sophisticated man about town.
Very cultured.
You know a man's cultured when he's got a whistler on the wall.
有教养的
Cumbersome.
Cumbersome.
Cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them.
In the end, I decided my virginity was becoming rather cumbersome.
Sensors, at first cumbersome, worn like clothing, could read and replicate the body's movements.
So some of the neighbors thought the shuttle might be a little cumbersome for you, so I was happy to volunteer.
Suspiciously cumbersome groin bulge.
笨重的
Cumulative.
Cumulative.
Cumulative effect.
But the cumulative anxiety of those brushes with death left you habitually fearful about your physical person.
Cumulative SAT score.
It's head trauma of a cumulative nature.
Well, as John Foster Dulles once said, man's accomplishments in life are a cumulative effect of his attention to detail.
累积的
Cunning.
Cunning.
But for all their cunning, we have one advantage.
More cunning than killer snakes, and fiercer than Simba the lion.
The cunning warrior attacks neither body nor mind.
Yes, they use cunning to survive. You cunning little bitch.
狡猾的
Cup.
Cup.
But do you want to get a cup of coffee and talk about it?
I made him a cup of coffee.
Brought him a cup of tea. So the recipe says we need a mixing bowl, a measuring cup.
Well, why don't I go make you a cup?
杯子使成杯状
Cupboard.
Cupboard.
In the cupboard above the stove.
Listen, sweetie, do you want your juicer out on the countertop, or can I put it under the cupboard?
Once they're asleep, hide them in the broomstick cupboard and pull out a few of their hairs. And put on their uniforms.
There should be some soda in that small cupboard.
They're in the linen cupboard.
食厨
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
Cupcake is a cupcake. Before I forget, I printed up more of our cupcake business cards so we can hand them out tomorrow at the Williamsburg Crafts Fair.
Cherry cupcake for the girl who just lost her cherry.
Man, we're gonna crush the cupcake competition. Yes, it's important that we focus on the cupcake business.
杯形蛋糕
Cupid.
Cupid.
Cupid mask like a cherub.
By the way, I think I know what happened to the Cupid from the drawing room, milady.
I am Cupid, god of love.
I could really make a serious go at this whole Cupid thing.
Premature baby claims he's Cupid, has arrow to prove it.
丘比特
Cupola.
Cupola.
Is it on the cupola?
You're under to the cupola, please. Now the pillar that controls everything in the south is cupola.
Parties, the evenings in Montparnasse, the cupola.
You'd have to put in a cupola or something.
圆屋顶
Cur.
Cur.
If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way.
'Tis the most impenetrable cur that ever kept with men.
You are a ruthless, soulless, cross-grained cur. You be the cur that led these wolves to our door.
Your cur would bark?
恶狗
Curable.
Curable.
Is it curable?
It's curable with his help.
No, because I know it to be curable.
Oh, it's curable.
We saw these issues with Margaret and know that it's completely curable.
可医治的
Curative.
Curative.
Common criminals like these are best dealt with on a purely curative basis.
Hell, I'll even throw in a bottle of the curative.
It's amazing the simple curative power of exercise.
They say these waters have curative powers.
You implored me to write, for curative purposes, to stave off my madness.
治病的药物
Curator.
Curator.
And what, you're a curator or something?
She had been raised by a kindly old museum curator.
This is a curator.
Should Ronaldo Pazzi join Professor Soliato and the late curator of the Palazzo down in the dump?
You're the curator?
管理者
Curb.
Curb.
I'd feel better sitting outside your apartment on the curb than any other place I can think of or imagine.
Let him walk to the curb at JFK.
The teacher's got some nerve, and someone blew the curb.
Unless you think your wife is gonna be better off with a husband who has a bloody stump for a head. I want you to sit down on that curb, put your hands on your head, and do nothing.
When you're sitting out there in those 880 seats with a sable wrap over your shoulder and your car and chauffeur out at the curb.
意志
Curd.
Curd.
With a sudden vigor, it doth posset and curd like eager droppings into milk.
Combine the milk, sugar, vanilla, eggs, curd, and salt.
Mixed vegetable with bean curd.
Who spit in her bean curd?
You know, when this was still a territory, it would have been a hanging offense to eat anything made out of bean curd.
凝乳
Curdle.
Curdle.
I don't know what it is, but they just curdle me.
It's always made my adenoids curdle.
Make your blood curdle. Stuff's gonna curdle.
使凝结 凝结
Cure.
Cure.
Discouraged over losing her job, Gabrielle decided a makeover would be the perfect cure for her depression.
He was going to help me cure the White Death at Kyoto Station.
I don't care if you have the cure for cancer.
Staring at a sunset is the ultimate cure. Writer's block.
治疗受治疗
Curfew.
Curfew.
Curfew, you know?
Cool. I shouldn't be out after curfew.
I've consulted with state police and the FBI, and with their help, a strict curfew of 8 o'clock p.m.
If we introduce a curfew, we may all go bankrupt for nothing.
Why do we have this stupid curfew?
晚钟
Curio.
Curio.
A little curio we picked up somewhere.
However, our first stop that day was at Engel's Curio Shop.
I found it in a curio shop on 3rd Avenue.
Put her in a curio shop.
True really was. Marinum answered to questions, but no answer ever quenched your curio.
古董
Curiosity.
Curiosity.
Call it morbid curiosity.
Well, I would like to take a little look inside just to satisfy my curiosity.
So, just out of curiosity.
So why are you growing this plant? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I would like to take a little look inside just to satisfy my curiosity.
好奇心
Curious.
Curious.
Curious, maybe. I'm curious. Saeed.
I'm curious, who are you a massive fan of?
Just curious, you know. So I'm just curious. Where do you get off prescribing that without my consent?
好奇的
Curl.
Curl.
And, I'm going to curl my hair.
Do you even curl?
Exhale, bring them down to your side and curl the spine, drawing the navel in as tight as you can to the spine.
So you can't curl up with it anymore.
Come, I know of a cozy little dungeon where just the two of us can curl up with the chains and then fight it.
蜷曲弄卷
Curler.
Curler.
Met Curly last night, kicked it and missed, kicked a chair instead.
It's a curler.
Okay, for the final touch, this is an eyelash curler.
He's as good a young fella in a curler as ever I've seen.
卷发的人
Curlew.
Curlew.
Curlew, give my gentleman the king's gold.
Doug Curlew and his brother Judd were exploring some caves above these woods when Judd was attacked and fatally mauled. This, he claims, is what killed Judd Curlew. I.e. went...
You, Curlew, cover the lanterns.
勺玉鼠候鸟
Curly.
Curly.
He's gonna give it back to the museum, or whoever they picked to be the new assistant Curly.
Perfume-smelling things, lacy things, things with curly hair.
So tell me, Curly, how do you know Miss Cross?
Toodle's name's Curly.
What's wrong with red curly hair?
全区的